Good evening and welcome to the national debate. I'm Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan. Viewers, we can no longer ignore the fact that there are serious threats for Hindus in many parts of the world today. From Canada to the United Kingdom to Bangladesh, attacks have been on the rise. Just last week, temples were attacked by pro-Khalistan groups under the watch of the Trudeau government in Canada. The persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh ever since the ouster of the democratically elected Bangladesh government has become a global cause of concern as well. So much so that persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh also became an electoral issue in the recently concluded US presidential polls. Over the course of his campaign, President-elect Donald Trump also red-flagged the violence against Hindus in Bangladesh and said that the Biden administration did nothing to stop the atrocities. Back in India, the share of population of Hindus is also on the decline over decades. Remember, there are only 3 countries in the world where Hindus are a majority population, and even in those countries, the share of Hindus is on the decline. As per the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister, the share of Hindu population has dropped by 7.8% in India. No wonder then that there is now a growing clamour for a Sanatan board or a national body in India for the protection of Hindus, a cause championed by the Andhra Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Pawan Kalyan. And that's why on this edition of the National Debate we ask, have Hindus become a soft target worldwide?
अब कांग्रेस SC, ST, OBC समाज की एक जाति को दूसरे के खिलाफ खड़ा कर रही है। इसलिए मैं कहता हूं, एक है तो सेफ है, एक है तो हमें एकजुट रहकर कांग्रेस के खतरनाक खेल को नाकाम करना है।
And joining us on this edition of the National Debate, we have with us Siddharth Yadav, spokesperson of the BJP. Also with us is Karan Verma, author. Sushil Pandit is activist joining us. Tehseen Pulawala, political analyst. Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, is with us. We have Pradeep Bhati, spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. And Haji Meherdeen Rangrez is spokesperson of the AIMIM. Let's get on to the first point of debate that we are having on the show today. And this is in fact the tweet by Donald Trump, where before his election was announced, before the counting and polling took place, his message was of condemning the violence against Hindus and Christians in Bangladesh. He also said that this wouldn't have happened under his watch. For the third message coming out of Donald Trump is that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have ignored Hindus across the world. Very, very significant message coming out from a former president and of course the current president of the United States. He also says that we will protect Hindu Americans against agendas, as well as him saying that won't allow anti-religion agenda of the radical left. This is, of course, Donald Trump, and he also goes on to say that will strengthen partnership with friend Modi. He's also added the fact that Hope Festival of Lights, that is, of course, Diwali, leads to win over evil. This statement, of course, coming before Diwali. Let's go across to what has actually happened in recent days in Bangladesh also before we get into the debate. Now, this is on the 4th of August to the 20th, 2024. We saw homes of 157 families looted and set ablaze in Bangladesh. On the 7th of September 2027, the land of Hindus was forcefully snatched in Maheshpur area. Of course, 14th of September 2024, 8 Durga idols vandalized. A temple in Faridpur is where this took place. On the 3rd of October, miscreants desecrated Durga idol in Kishorganj town of Bangladesh. On the 4th of October, several Hindu idols vandalized in Barisal district of Bangladesh as well. This is, of course, the recent events that have taken place in Bangladesh. Of course, what has been taking place is the result of what has happened over several months. Let me take this first and foremost to our panelists joining us. Let me begin with you, Tehseen. Tehseen, at the end of the day, the questions that have been raised by Donald Trump are very, very important, because it's not just happening in India's neighborhood, it's happening globally. But the case in point is Bangladesh. Somewhere or the other, you will have the BJP coming out to say, why is it that the opposition takes so long, to pass resolutions when it comes to Bangladesh, but when it happens in Gaza, in Rafah, it happens at the snap of the fingers?
So, just obviously President Trump's statement had larger geopolitical meaning to it and behind it. Obviously, he was against the regime change that Joe Biden brought in with George Soros, and now Sheikh Hasina is back in the game. We also saw Sheikh Hasina's letter to him addressing herself as Prime Minister. But I don't want to go into that. Let's stick to the issues of Hindus in trouble. And I do agree with President Trump. Hindus across the globe are being systematically targeted. It started last year when Times Now broke the story. I will remember I was with you in England. Since then, it's happened in Bangladesh and now in Canada. But look at what this nationalist government of ours has done, Prime Minister Modi, except for Kadi Ninda and a few reels by the Foreign Affairs Minister, there's nothing. President Trump's had the guts to take the bull by the horn, something we've all been asking for. What has the current Prime Minister done? Except for a couple of tweets, he's done nothing. Bangladesh is in our neighborhood, in our area of influence. What has he done? In fact, 3 days ago, Hindus were attacked in Bangladesh. Again, Times Now broke that story. Even in Canada, on 30th October, Hindus put up a desperate letter saying, look, we are going to be attacked on Diwali. Pannu's come on national TV saying, I'm working with the Prime Minister of Canada. I am going to attack Hindus. I'm going to spoil Diwali. What did the government do? Zero. This government does not protect anybody, least of all Hindus. This government is the weakest government in the history of India. Never have I seen the government of India abandon Indians anywhere in the world as I've seen this government do it, and they've abandoned Hindus.
Siddharth Yadav, is that the case? Is this government has been unable to protect Hindus across the world, across different jurisdictions? That's the charge coming from Tehseen. Please respond to it.
Mother, what is interesting to note is that Tehseen Poonawalla, who represents the Congress party, the party which chooses to keep their mouth shut on the atrocities on Hindus across the globe, who have kept their mouths shut for so many years, have never spoken for their politics of appeasement, who have never spoken for their fear of losing their vote bank, now stands here and says that it is the Indian government who is unable to protect. It is the Indian government who is finally has the courage to say that this is wrong. It is the Indian government which has finally come out and said that this will not continue. It is this Indian government. Otherwise, who had spoken in 71? Who spoke in 83, 84? Who spoke in 2010? Who spoke in 2013, 14? In Myanmar, Malaysia, Kenya? Who spoke there? Who spoke in the Sindh, Balochistan? Who spoke for in 2018 across the globe? Who has done that? It is this Indian government who came out and have always on all occasions made it a point that such atrocities cannot continue. And when actions are taken, when a strong stance is given, then they come out in support and say, oh, this was not the foreign policy of India. They should have taken care. The stance of India has been different. Now, why are you coming out and saying their leaders will keep shut? Their leaders will have all tears to shed for Gaza, but they cannot utter a word for Hindus in Bangladesh. Even Donald Trump can come out and condemn it. But what is it that more than a billion Indians, the faith that they follow, the faith is being attacked across the globe, and the largest opposition party of this country cannot utter a word? What are the compulsions? So let's begin with that first. Let us begin with that. Let us begin with Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Vadra condemning it, and let us begin with you saying that it's wrong.
Except for loud voice and except for rhetoric, just like the foreign minister and a reel going viral, the BJP spokesperson gave 0 to the audiences of Times Now.
Oh, really?
He said,
now you're going to hand out certificates.
Interrupt me and not allow me to fact.
Now you're going to give certificates.
He said, I'm not giving certificates.
For the audience.
Make your point. Make your point. Make your point.
The BJP spokesperson said 1971. The then Prime Minister did not make a reel. She did real action and divided Pakistan into two. Bangladesh was formed. They could do nothing under their watch. Bangladesh, the Bangladesh. One second.
What happened?
Please allow me. Number one. Number two, in Canada, not just the government, not just Justin Trudeau, who I call a neo-toddler, even the opposition, the incoming Prime Minister had a problem with, had cancelled the Diwali celebrations. The government could do nothing. They could not even woo the opposition, which is in India's support. But most importantly, I'm quoting two headlines, both from Times of India. What is happening in Palestine is totally unacceptable. Guess who? The Indian government. War and violence in Gaza must stop immediately. Guess who? The Indian government. Now he quotes the opposition. This is the Indian government stand. The opposition has stood by the Indian government. But as I said, and I started over, apart from loud noise, Kadi Ninda and rhetoric, the government of India has done zero, just like the BJP spokesperson has given you zero.
Oh, you made your point. Yeah, Siddharth, quick response and then I go across to others. Yes.
I'll quote 10 incidents of attacks on Hindus globally. You show me one tweet from the Khandan of Congress party who have ever condemned
it. Bhai, is it a tweet that will stop all the action of the Prime Minister?
1983, Black July riots in Sri Lanka, 2010 in Malaysia, 2013 Cox's Bazar, 2013 Myanmar riots, 2014 Sindh Baloch attacks, 2014 in Kenya, 2018 Toronto Temple, 2020 Kabul Gurudwara attack, 2021 Durga Puja attack, 2021 Bangladesh in October, 2024 Bangladesh.
Yeah.
One tweet.
Happened in Modi's Prime Minister.
Show me Bangladesh.
Eight of them have happened in Prime Minister. Modi is Prime
You
Minister.
can't show me one
8 out of 10 is
from
the
the
Prime Minister
Gandhi-
Modi.
Okay, gentlemen, let me come in.
Precisely
Let me come in now.
Precisely the point.
And you're
Prime Minister
standing here
Modi
and
No, no,
said-
one second.
You
One
don't
second.
understand what-
Siddharth, let others come in. Let others come in. Come on.
Prime Minister Modi.
Let others come in. There's a
That shows how
lot to debate today. Please, there's a lot to debate today. Let's not get carried away. But Vivek Srivastava, let me come to you. The point is that if there is a principle that minorities have to be protected, and certainly, of course, within Indian jurisdiction, there is a constitution. There is a principle that minorities have to be protected. Why does that logic not extend to other jurisdictions where there are Hindus, where there are people who we have been historically having ties with, and talk equally loudly for there? There's no problem in talking about Palestine and Gaza. One can have their own priorities, one can have their own ideologies, but there has to be consistency at least.
Right. Now, see, I think since 2014, a lot has changed. We Hindus have got a bad name globally. We are people who don't like minorities.
Why?
We want to subjugate. No. Just let's start. It started in 1992 when a mob
Hindus
goes.
have got a bad name.
Yes.
is one
Let
thing.
me complete.
A political
Let me complete.
ideology of
Let me-
Hindutva, and you're Hindus, you're equating. the
No.
two.
Just
Hindus to
let
disown him.
me speak. We have got a bad name because of this regime, which is totally anti-minority. The way minorities are being treated over here, and the way the Hindutva brigade moves around, our Hindu community has got a bad name because of this government, which is talking
One second.
Now,
Vivek, one second.
Now-
There are two problems. There are two problems.
now-
Siddharth, one second. There are two problems.
Come on,
Wait, just allow me.
Yes,
Just allow me.
yes,
There are two
yes.
problems.
Let me complete.
Of course, you can complete.
Yes.
My point is that if your party and other opposition parties have repeatedly said, don't equate Hinduism with Hindutva.
Yes.
Now you're doing exactly that.
No.
You're equating
What actually
Hindutva with
happens
Hinduism.
what actually happens is that when a government comes into a country, okay, talks of Hindutva all the time, who are the people who are going to be branded as a bad community? It's going to be us. And that is what is happening. ये जो चीजें नहीं सुनिए, अगर आप खड़े होकर के मुसलमानों को रोज गाली देंगे, रोज खड़ा करेंगे, बोलेंगे अपना पेट्रियोटिज्म को प्रूव करो.
But Vivek, you're justifying attacks
I'm
on
not
Hindus abroad.
justifying. I'm
When you
telling you
make
the
this kind of
reason.
statement. Yeah. One
I'm
second.
giving you the reason.
They will respond to you. Yeah.
I'm giving you the reason.
He's rationalizing the attack.
No, I'm not rationalizing attacks. I mean, I'm talking about the root cause. This is the root cause.
You are the root
when
cause.
you are not moderate, Indians and Hindus especially were supposed to be peace-loving people, tolerant, okay, progressive. They could live, mingle with other communities. This is the image we had. Something bad happened in 1992 when a mob goes and breaks a structure. Luckily for us, we have a judicial system. A case
Okay.
goes on. And because the case dragged, the world recognized that yes, the minorities in this country can get justice via judicial system. But today, since 2014, the kind of branding that is being happening, the kind of idea of India, everything Sanatan, abusing around,
Okay.
closing shops in Navratras,
Okay,
non-veg, beef.
there are many contradictions in what you said, but I want Karan Verma and then Sushil Pandit to come in. Karan Verma.
First of all, let me respond to what Vivek has said. I think Vivek is not following what his government in Kerala has done, because his government in Kerala, 300 cases registered against members of IUML who have threatened to kill Hindus and hang them by their temple rings. Just so you know, your government has taken action against them. 300 cases they filed.
You should.
Then they are the ones who filed an affidavit in the court and said that PFI should be banned because it is using religion for terror. So that's again not a Hindu organization, PFI, Vivek. And Achyutanand, who was your CM, 2006, he said that love jihad is a menace and they want to make Kerala a Muslim majority state. तो इनकी गवर्नमेंट तो ये सब कर रही है केरला में, and here he is preaching that Hindus are getting a bad name, Hindus are doing this.
Law and order is a different issue.
You've taken action against rabid Islamic organizations.
Yes, we should.
And you've gone on in court and said that, right? You've said Hindus are under threat by IUML. That is your official statement, just so you know.
10 seconds.
So this is their hypocrisy is just exposed in real time.
No.
Now, Madhav, let me make a bigger point on this. Tehseen is right to a certain extent that we need to act more. I must accept that he graciously accepted that Hindus across the world are being targeted. Of course, they are being targeted, and we need to do more. But where is the opposition which should
what is the root
actually add
cause?
voice?
If it
One
is
second,
happening
let me
globally,
complete.
what is the root cause? What is the root cause?
The root cause is
The root
organizations
cause
like
is Supreme
IUML,
Court of
against
India.
which you've taken
The root
action.
cause is the Supreme Court of India
root
said.
cause is IUML.
The Supreme Court
Organizations
of
like
India
yours.
said.
Let him make his
Hold
point.
on,
Yeah,
hold on.
let him make
Let
his
me
point.
make my point,
Let him
bhaiya. I
complete.
was
You
not
can reply to
interrupting.
him.
I was
You
not
can reply. Let him
interrupting.
make his point. Yeah.
The root cause is organizations and parties which call for eradication of Sanatan Dharma. Can you imagine a call for Sanatan Dharma
Canada?
eradication? I'm talking
America?
about here first. I'm talking about here.
Well, Canada,
You've
there was
taken
an attack
action
on
against
temple,
these
but-
organizations.
Yeah.
Just
Okay,
so
Karan. Yeah.
I'll just
let me, no, but the point,
I
the
was
point
making a
is
point, he
the
interrupted.
point-
Just
Give me 10
let me
seconds.
give me
Give me
10
10
seconds.
seconds.
quickly make your
Give
point
me
and then I
10
come back to you.
seconds. All I'm saying is the opposition, which has mollycoddled with organizations calling for eradication of Sanatan, are in no position to question the government as to what you're doing. You are pretty much adding chorus to their voice.
Sir, we
So
are not
they are
the opposition
anti-Hindu
of
at their
Canada.
core.
Okay.
That is the real point.
Number one,
Okay, you are-
Karan, we are not the opposition in United States or Canada or Europe or London where he was last year. We are not there. So we are not doing it. It is the people out there who are doing it because you are the root cause. And the proof is when the Supreme Court says, when the Supreme Court says, ये बुलडोजर राज गलत है 25 लाख रुपया
कहाँ
वापस
से आ गए
करो
यहाँ?
So let me get this right. What has happened? One second.
25 लाख वापस करो 25 लाख दो कॉम्पनसेशन में सुप्रीम कोर्ट का ऑब्जर्वेशन है
No, that is okay.
How is the bulldozer here?
क्या रूट कॉज
नो इस्लामोफोबिया
वहाँ भी हम लोग हैं, हमारी सरकार है।
Islamophobia तो आप
Let me a simple question. Simple
action
question.
against IUML. You are doing Islamophobia.
Simple question.
He is Islamophobia.
Simple question to you. Were attacks on Hindus not happening in Bangladesh before BJP governments came to power at the center? Yes or no?
See, you always.
So why are you linking the two?
No. You have that way. You have the black and white problem going on in the United States also. Every country has its own problems. But after 2014, our community has been given a bad name because I mean everywhere you have a chief minister. You have the chief. देखो अब आप
हिंदू हो,
हिंदू होने का क्या मतलब है यार?
हिंदू हो, आप
भगवा पहन करके
अरे मैं
सन्यासी
पूछ रहा हूँ
बोलते
भाई,
अपने आप को.
मैं तो कह रहा हूँ
You are
आपको
demolishing
क्या?
houses of innocent Muslims.
All right. There are some inherent contradictions I see in the argument of Mr. Srivastav. Sushil Pandit.
Yes. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Hindus do not live by some fictional image of being a peaceful community or some marketing branding of a peaceful religion. Hindus live by a reputation they have earned over the years. They have been peaceful, they have been law-abiding, they have been tax-paying, they have been contributing to the societies and economies wherever they have gone. In US, in Europe, and they are acknowledged for that. They have not rioted, they have not broken any temple or mosque anywhere. You see the prison population percentage proportion in UK. It's in few hundreds. It is not even a fraction of their proportion of population in Britain. Why? Because they are law-abiding, they are peaceful, they do not aggressively target any faith or religion. And that is the case here as well.
No,
So it is, yes,
No.
Hindus as a community.
Community, yes. But the
People-
government, no.
देखिए अब आप गवर्नमेंट पे आ जाइए
बिल्कुल.
गवर्नमेंट पे आ
Fanatic
जाइए
government है.
गवर्नमेंट पे आ जाइए
Fascist government है.
आइडियोलॉजी पे आ जाइए
Let's not do this. Yeah.
वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट ने मारिचा झापी में सैकड़ों लोग बिछा दिए. These were Hindus from Bangladesh who had taken refuge there. They wanted better living conditions. They wanted to cross over to mainland. They were confined to an island, and it was Jyoti Basu's government under left.
Correct.
They had a bloodbath there. And these were poor Hindus from Bangladesh. Bangladesh has been facing a Hindu genocide ever since Pakistan was built. From high 30s to they have dwindled now 7%. Every Durga Puja, every festival, every pretext is used. Now this time there was a coup. Hindus had nothing to do with this. They were targeted.
No.
They were targeted. They were
wrong. It's
targeted
factually
systematically.
incorrect. It is
Their
factually
women have
incorrect.
their women
You
have
are
been
factually
humiliated.
incorrect.
No, it is not.
There
It is
were
documented.
ties with a particular party.
Just repeating a
in
lie.
Bangladesh.
Again,
You are
he said-
factually incorrect.
So you're justifying the attack on
incredible.
Hindus?
It's not a question of
Incredible.
So why-
Incredible.
why-
In
why-
a democracy,
why-
if you vote for a party,
If
you
something
become a
happens-
victim of
No, no,
genocidal
hold on, sir,
campaign.
hold on.
Is that what you're saying?
A big angle of the violence
in
against...
India,
Make it- let me make it short, yeah.
90% plus voting for by a certain community is for a party. Do you think they are a legitimate target for a genocide here?
No.
Is that what you're
No,
saying?
No. All I'm
Is
saying
that what
is,
you're saying?
all
You're
I'm saying
legitimizing
is,
it.
that particular
You're
community you are
legitimizing
talking
it.
about is vulnerable in this country.
Which means those who 90% vote for a certain party are a legitimate target of genocide by another party. This is what
Yes.
he's saying.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
what he's saying.
Yes.
No, wait.
He's
Let's
on
not justify
record.
that. No, please.
He's on
Let's not
record.
go that far. Let's
He's
not go
on
that far.
record.
Nothing justifies violence. I'm sorry. No, Vivek, this is enough.
It is not
He
justified.
cannot
He's on
justify
record.
violence.
This is
You
leftist
cannot
thinking.
say-
No,
you cannot
you
say
don't want
violence
to
is
go
justified.
into the-
It is not
anarchist-
acceptable.
in-
The whole premise of
in
this debate is that
democracy.
Hindus are being attacked and that this is
So
what
there are
Trump
no
has said.
reasons, it is
Christians are
happening
being
on its
attacked.
own.
No, but let's not
You are
justify
saying
it by
उसका कोई
saying that
कारण
they
नहीं
voted for a political
है. And I'm not
party.
supposed to go into the deep reasons behind it.
Please go into it, but the point is you cannot justify killing
Nobody is justifying it.
Because
Nobody is justifying it. These guys are getting it done. 25 लाख रुपया वापस देना कोर्ट ने बोला है.
Who's getting it?
BJP is facilitating it.
बुलडोजर की बात हो रही है ना?
bulldozers. So one second,
out of syllabus से आ गई है.
नहीं कोई सिलेबस के बाहर नहीं है.
Out of syllabus
25 लाख रुपया क्यों देना है योगी आदित्यनाथ को?
One second. You're saying that 25 lakhs that have to be given as ordered as compensation
Yes.
for bulldozers demolishing certain
Yes.
properties
Yes.
in Uttar Pradesh
Yes.
is leading to Hindus being attacked in Bangladesh. Look, that is your logic.
No, what I'm saying is the community, the chief ministers like Mr. Yogi and the government and the Sangh Parivar lately for the last
Let's
10
get the
years
view from the
are
Samajwadi Party.
Islamophobic and that
Let's
is
get
being
it.
exposed at a world level. So we are vulnerable.
One second.
Not a single riot, not a single major riot in last 10 years in this government.
In
this
Bahrain,
country.
you sent a
In
young
Bahrain,
boy to a Muslim house.
Not a single major riot like
Mr.
they
Haji
used to
Rangrejan
thrust on us.
Pradeep have not spoken. Pradeep Bhati ji, क्या आप agree करते हैं जो विवेक कह रहे हैं कि यहाँ के actions के वजह से बांग्लादेश में हिंदूज को अटैक किया जा रहा है और बाकी जगह पे अटैक किया जा रहा है? क्या इसमें कोई लॉजिक है?
Thanks, Madhav. Let me start with first thing that you see whatever we have seen in last 15-20 minutes, the political discourse of this country has come down to that level that is that credit has to be given to BJP. So attacks on Hindu temple, whether it's in Canada or in Bangladesh, that's an attack on the every Indian whosoever practices Hinduism, whether it's coming from any religion or any community. So why these attacks has been increased, it has been increased in this BJP period, that has to be analyzed first. And second thing, what has happened to the last attacks? If you see the attack on Indian embassy in UK, London, what was the action being taken by this 56-inch government? Have they taken anything, done anything other than lip service? So that has to be also acknowledged. Shouting here does not make any sense, or you can score some brownie points.
What should have been done? One second. What should have been done?
You can score some brownie points, but the core issue is that whatever you do inside the country, and when you attack the other religions inside the country, your voice will not be heard at the same level that what you are doing inside your country. The world will not support you with that. That voice will definitely have a lower version, because you are being supporting. The BJP government is supporting here the minorities being attacked. That was BJP government doing here. So when you go to the international space, you will find these voices will get lower. So that is the biggest drawback, being the government like BJP, where the voice of minorities always been reduced and come to that level. So that's the biggest thing. And the image and the prestige of this country has come down to very low level in the international. If you see not only the countries like Canada and UK and USA, you see what has happened to Indians in Maldives, in Bangladesh, even in Nepal also. So if you compare this government, they have bring down our image and prestige to very low level, and shouting here will not do any justice to Indians staying abroad.
Okay, it is a fact that there are certain attacks that have taken place in different parts of the country or minorities. He's saying that has not left a very good image of the country, and perhaps there has been a backlash. This is the argument coming from him. Please respond to that.
Madhav, I'll respond to that argument, but I want to make something factually correct here. I would request my friend from Samajwadi Party to go and visit the London embassy. For 70 years, there was no security on the London embassy. After the attack, it was the Indian government which took the stern action of withdrawing security from the UK embassy in India. And in 6 hours, the embassy was provided security. The country which does not provide security to any country's embassy is giving security to the Indian embassy. That is India's power.
Created such a situation.
Please, let's not jump out of it.
मेरे को औरों की तरह हैकल करने की कोशिश मत करना. आवाज मेरे पास है.
We'll have absolute cacophony if everyone does this, so please exercise some restraint.
Now, second point. Now, the argument that they are trying to build is that the image of India is now in the 10 years getting distorted. I'm trying to understand what was the image of India when Mumbai attacks happened. What was the image of India when riots used to happen every day? What was the image of India when his chief minister, Samajwadi Party's chief minister, had to stand up in the Vidhan Sabha and say कि मेरे 6 महीने के कार्यकाल में 100 से ऊपर riots हो चुके हैं on record in Vidhan Sabha.
What is the current status of riots in UP?
No, I
Ask
did
him
not
that.
object.
As
I did not
per
object.
NCRB, what is the current status of riot in
Now their
Uttar
problem
Pradesh?
is,
Let him make his point. You can reply to him. Let him conclude. Let him conclude. You can respond to him. Yeah.
So I am asking, what was the image of our country for so many years? When so many attacks happened, our country was always divided on communal lines. The country's government was always an appeasement government. What was the image of India when a riot happened in Uttar Pradesh and the government only gave compensation to Muslims? What was the image then?
Okay.
But when you don't want to talk about that, because now the image has changed. Now the image is of a fifth largest economy, a growing economy. The entire world is looking up to us. Businesses are booming. The country is moving forward. We are making the highest GDP.
One by one,
spending the maximum amount on capital expenditures, and that is what you don't like.
Okay, Siddharth, let Pradeep
what
come in
has
now.
happened
Respond.
to Uttar Pradesh, let me first clarify that in Uttar Pradesh, every year on an average 6,000 riots are happening. This is the NCRB data. Go and check. Go and check. Last 17 to 2001.
बड़ा claim है,
I'll show you right away. I'll show you right away. 2017 to 21, 6,000 on an average riots.
This is a very big thing. Yeah, you have the data. You have the hard data.
Check also. I'll show you.
No, you show
in the
no.
meantime. No, I'll show you. Don't interrupt me in between. I'll show you that also. At the time when you're speaking, I'll show you that. So that's Madhav.
Yeah, we'll wait for the data from your side. Yeah.
Just hope the show ends.
He's talking about the economy. He's talking about the economy. He's not even aware what is the manufacturing rate. Highest rate, what is achieved, the government has achieved is the average of Akhilesh Yadavji's government, that is 17%. They have never achieved that rate. What about the economy they are talking about? Uttar Pradesh, the 4.5 in real terms, economic growth. Economic growth. We are talking about
we are discussing
good economic
very important point.
Done by the Uttar
Economic
Pradesh
growth is a
government.
very important subject, sir. Unfortunately, we are not discussing that today. I'll give you some time to get out the
He
data.
has made few points. I am just answering those.
Okay, but let me
Give him a minute. He's factually incorrect. We can't let this go on.
Right.
Give me a minute.
Who is factually incorrect?
Quick response. NCRB data: 56% डकैती कम, 45% crime rate less, 54%
What is the
conviction in
data?
Dubai.
Not
Will you
less.
please ask him to keep quiet?
numbers.
Will you
Mr. Bhatti,
please ask him to keep
Mr. Bhatti, let him make his point. One by one. No. We cannot have a debate like this. Mr. Bhatti, please. We cannot have a debate like this. We cannot have a debate like
I have
this.
been caught, so please.
You've put out some facts. Now listen to him. No, he is responding to you. Please listen to him. We cannot have a
NCRB
debate
data:
like this.
56% डकैती कम, 47% crime less, 54% conviction, which is double the national average. And he talked about economy. UP was 7th largest economy in the country in 2017. Today it is the 2nd largest economy. So we've come a long way. GDP doubled, per capita income doubled.
Incorrect.
That is where we start.
Second in India, Uttar Pradesh, that's what he's saying.
Yes.
Second, factually correct, incorrect.
So what is
Please
it?
check.
What is
Please
it?
check.
What is the rank?
Fifth. Uttar Pradesh is fifth.
Please,
Gentlemen,
will you quit politics if you are proved wrong?
Please,
will you
gentlemen.
quit coming here if you are proved wrong?
I
want the audience to check him. He said fifth.
Right. We will end up debating. Please. I request both of you.
कहाँ से पढ़ के आते हैं? कहाँ से पढ़ के आए हैं?
One second, gentlemen, please. This is not the subject of our debate. Let us please shift focus now.
After being wrong.
Allow me to conduct this debate, gentlemen.
Yeah.
And let me go across to Haji Mehrdin Rangrez. Haji Mehrdin Rangrez, कहीं ना कहीं बीजेपी ये सवाल उठाएगी कि when it comes to important issues such as CAA, which would have protected these lives of Hindus living in India's neighborhood, the opposition was up in arms, and that is the result of what we are seeing today. The actions being taken, the violence being conducted on Hindus in Bangladesh and India's neighborhood has led to this situation. Why? And this is why we've brought in the CAA. क्या जवाब देंगे?
देखिए माधव जी, जिस तरीके से हिंसा की बात हो रही है तो हम तो हिंसा को कंडेम करते हैं, हमारी पार्टी भी। और ये लगातार जो बात हो रही है, 2014 से पहले पूरे हिंदुस्तान में हर तरीके के त्यौहार मनाए जा रहे थे, कोई खतरे में भी नहीं था। 2014 के बाद से जब मोदी जी आए, आज हिंदुस्तान के सारे हिंदू भाई खतरे में, सारे मुसलमान भाई खतरे में, सारे भाई सिख भाई खतरे में। ऐसे ही ये परसेप्शन अब झूठा जो है वहाँ बांग्लादेश में लेकर आए कि वहाँ पर हिंदुओं पर जो है बड़ा अत्याचार हो रहा है। मैं इनसे पूछना चाहता हूँ, इनके पास आंकड़ा है कितनी वहाँ पर हत्या हुई है, कितने वहां पर मकान और दुकानें लूटी गई हैं? इतनी सारी अल्ट न्यूज के जो जुबैर भाई उन्होंने पूरा जो एक इन्होंने आईटी सेल का सर सुन लीजिए मैं बता रहा हूं, सुन तो लीजिए सर।
उनके
यहाँ पर हिंदू के बटेंगे तो कटेंगे वाली बात करके कि उन्होंने लोगों ने पूछा, हमने पूछा भाई बटेंगे कटेंगे कौन बटेगा? हमारे हिंदुस्तान में तो ना कोई बट रहा ना कोई कट रहा, हम सब एक हैं। तो ये बात आई कि बांग्लादेश में जो हो रहा है वो क्या हो रहा है? अरे भाई बांग्लादेश में हो रहा, शेख हसीना को आपने यहाँ घर में जो है हमारे टैक्स पेयर के पैसों से वो यहाँ पर बैठ कर राज कर रही है। आप
वाह, ये 15 मिनट के लिए
5 मिनट
काटने की बात कर रहे हैं, कह रहे कौन कटेगा? बहुत बढ़िया।
मैं कहता हूँ जो इस तरीके की बात कर रहे हैं, जो 5 देखिए मैं
इस तरह की बात तो बरूद्दीन ओवैसी ने करी। आप क्या कह रहे हैं? बरूद्दीन ओवैसी के खिलाफ होना चाहिए।
जिन्होंने 5 मिनट की बात सुन तो लीजिए सर। तो 2014 से पहले तो हिंदुस्तान जो है घुटनों पे था, आज देश में खतरे में। खाड़ी देशों में माधव जी इतने हिंदू भाई रहते हैं, आप ये बताइए क्या वहां त्योहार नहीं मनते उनके? बताइए कोई हिंसा हुई है क्या?
त्योहार के
वहां पे
टाइम पे तो
मस्जिद
अटैक हो रहा है, यही तो कहा
वहां पर
सुशील
मंदिर
पंडित
भी
जी ने।
बनाए जा रहे हैं, वहां पर तो कोई हिंसा नहीं हो रही। मगर जो यहाँ के
सवाल।
लोग हैं, सुनिए,
सिंपल सवाल।
बीजेपी
जब गाजा पे
के लोग ये यहाँ पर भी इस तरीके का माहौल बना रहे हैं। जब आप हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात करेंगे, जिस देश का कोई धर्म नहीं है, धर्मनिरपेक्ष देश में आप हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात करेंगे, तो कुछ लोग हैं यहाँ पर जो खालिस्तान की भी बात कर रहे हैं, फिर तो कोई और कुछ लोग आ जाएंगे वो कहेंगे हिंदू राष्ट्र। कौन नहीं कह रहा?
भारत सरकार में किसने कहा है?
भारत सरकार के कितने सारे मंत्री और मैं एमपीओ की बात बता सकता हूँ बीजेपी की, खुलेआम हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात कर रहे हैं। इनके जो संगठन है वो खुलेआम हिंदू राष्ट्र की बात करते हैं।
बोल रहे हैं पार्लियामेंट में,
जी, जिस तरीके से माहौल बनाया जा रहा है, तो
जय फिलिस्तीन बोलना सही है।
बात करेंगे, कोई इस्लामिक देश की बात करेगा। और ये परसेप्शन पूरा इन्होंने जो आईटी सेल है बीजेपी का, वो लगातार एंटी मुस्लिम एजेंडा पूरा रोजाना उन पे वेबसाइटों पर चलता है। इसी तरीके से माहौल खराब हो जाए।
बीजेपी, it is your anti-Muslim agenda that is leading to this kind of backlash. Please respond to him.
Madhav, look at the agenda. The spokesperson of one of the political parties in this country, and he's the official spokesperson, says, जो बांग्लादेश में हुआ ये एजेंडा है, ये झूठा है, ये बीजेपी ने बनाया।
अरे सर, मैं
उनकी
तो
वहां की
मांग रहा हूं।
मैं आपके बीच में नहीं बोला था ना हाजी साहब।
मैं आगरे मांग रहा हूं,
आपके बीच में
आगरे बता दीजिए सर।
नहीं, आगरे मांग के मेरा टाइम
इतनी बड़ी
बात बोल रहे हैं।
आपने कुछ सवाल उठाए, सुन लीजिए, जवाब सुन लीजिए।
वहां की जो इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट बनी, वहां के नेता ने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि एट्रोसिटी हुई। डोनाल्ड ट्रंप एक्सेप्ट कर सकता है कि एट्रोसिटी हुई, हाजी अंग्रेज नहीं करेंगे।
डोनाल्ड ट्रंप की तो
अरे राजनीति बंद हो जाएगी। और क्यों नहीं कर रहे? इन्होंने अभी क्या बोला? इन्होंने अभी क्या बोला? इन्होंने बोला वो जुबेर भाई जो है ना, वो जुबेर भाई ने डेटा दिया है कि वहां पे कुछ
ज्यादा जेन्युइन है।
अब जुबेर भाई से चलेंगे तो यही गड़बड़ होगी। जुबेर भाई से मत चलिए।
Please, no, one by one. This is not correct. Yeah.
What is most unfortunate is when such atrocities happen and political parties and official spokespersons cannot accept that, cannot acknowledge that. I think this is most unfortunate. क्योंकि आप at most ये कर सकते
Haji
हैं
Rangrez,
कि आप
quick
कैसे
response. One second,
हो।
Haji Rangrez, one second, let him speak. Gentlemen, let him speak. Let him speak. I'm coming, one by one.
हमारे यहाँ की मीडिया ने दिखाया कि लिटिल दास का घर जलाया गया, मगर वो लिटिल दास का घर नहीं था, वो एक मोतीजुर रहमान जो पुराने क्रिकेटर थे उनका घर जलाया गया था। और जो मंदिर दिखाया गया कि मंदिर जलाया गया बांग्लादेश में, वो मुस्लिम की दुकान थी। तो इस तरीके की झूठी बातें यहाँ पर जो फैलाई जा रही हैं,
मेरी बात सुन लीजिए।
मुसलमानों के खिलाफ जो माहौल बनाया जा रहा है,
ऐसे हो सकता है,
वो तो गलत है ना माधव
हो
जी।
सकता है कुछ गलत न्यूज गए हो, पर ये बिल्कुल आप नहीं कह सकते कि हिंदूज पे अटैक नहीं हुआ है बांग्लादेश में।
अरे
ये तो हुआ
तो
है।
मुसलमानों पर भी हुआ है, वहां पर तो जो है सत्ता के खिलाफ बोल रहे हैं।
मुसलमानों में भी हुआ है।
हिंदुस्तान में पॉलिटिकल अटैक घर जलाए जा रहे हैं, मुसलमानों के घर तोड़े जा रहे हैं, मुसलमानों का एनकाउंटर किया जा रहा है, इस पर तो कोई कुछ नहीं बोलता। इनकी जबान में तेज बन जाती है। जो जय श्री राम का नारा लगा रहे मुसलमानों को मारता हो, जय श्री राम का नारा लगा के मुसलमानों को मारता हो, और मोदी जी और योगी जी के नारे
this is virtual justification. Haji Rangrez,
मुसलमानों
this
को
is
मारा
virtual
हो ट्रेन में,
justification.
तो
I want
आप
Sushil Pandit to
उन
comment
लोगों
on
को
this.
समर्थन करते नहीं।
Sushil
आपने
Pandit,
क्या
a fake
किया?
narrative has been
आपने क्या
spread.
protest किया?
Haji Rangrez, Sushil Pandit.
39 रिलीजियस अटैक्स
One
सिर्फ हिंदू
second.
पे होते हैं, किसी ताजिया पे नहीं हुआ हमला। हाजी रंगरेज जी ये समझिए,
क्या हुआ?
बोल सकते हैं, वहां इन्हें उम्मा के साथ एकता चाहिए, यहाँ पे कोई प्रॉब्लम।
बहुत बढ़िया।
ओके,
You see, I've heard this logic earlier also when we were turned out from Kashmir, thrown out violently. We were told कि साहब वहाँ पे मुसलमानों को भी बहुत प्रॉब्लम हुई है। देखिए, when Hindus were attacked in Bangladesh or Pakistan, or for that matter in Kashmir, they were attacked because they were Hindus. When Muslims were attacked, they were attacked because they were not in sync with jihadis. It is not because they were Muslim, they were attacked in spite of being Muslims. ऐसे आप कहेंगे हसीना वाजेद भी मुस्लिम है, उसको भी मार के भगा दिया, तस्लीमा नसरीन भी मुस्लिम है, उसको भी। प्रॉब्लम इज नॉट व्हेन मुस्लिम्स आर अफेक्टेड इन पाकिस्तान। पाकिस्तान में मुसलमान मर रहे हैं तो बांग्लादेश में भी मर रहे हैं। तो प्रॉब्लम यह है कि वहां मुसलमान इसलिए नहीं मर रहे कि वो मुसलमान है, वहां मुसलमान इसलिए मर रहे हैं क्योंकि वो जिहादियों के साथ नहीं है।
गलत।
वो जिहादी प्रोपेगेंडा के साथ नहीं है, जिहादी एजेंडा के साथ नहीं है।
अरे गलत।
हिंदू इसलिए मर रहा है क्योंकि वो हिंदू है।
I need 10 seconds.
वो हिंदू इसलिए, मैं बता रहा हूं आपको, हमारे बंगाल में, हमारे वेस्ट बंगाल में तृणमूल कांग्रेस को वोट देने वाला हिंदू भी पकड़ा गया, मारा गया, क्योंकि वो हिंदू था। जो बंगाल में पोस्ट पोल वायलेंस हुई है उसमें टीएमसी के मुस्लिम हिंदू सपोर्टर्स भी रगड़े गए हैं। क्योंकि there was a pogrom against Hindus. They were seen as anti-Muslim agenda, anti-Islamic agenda.
There are other aspects which I want to bring in, so please allow me to bring in the other aspects as well. And these are other countries where attacks have come in place. But you can counter it. There is more time to do
actually incorrect.
Well, this is what I'm coming to you. I'm coming to you, gentlemen.
You have to give me a chance to reply.
I will give you a chance to reply, sir. Allow me to conduct the show. This is where what has happened in Brampton, where there were attacks by Khalistanis on two Hindu mandirs on the 3rd of November 2024. Let's bring in the next attack that has taken place. This is Surrey, where Canadian cops protected Khalistan goons attacked Hindus. This is 3rd of November 2024. California, where Hindus go back graffiti on BAPS Swaminarayan Temple on the 25th of September 2024. Moving on in Leicester, where Hindus and their symbols were targeted in communal clashes 17th of September 2022. All right. Let me now Vivek Srivastava. All right. Yes. And before we wrap up, one second. Before we wrap up, very quick statistic. Very quick statistic. Please allow me. This is the problem when everyone shouts and nobody gets a turn. This is exactly what I'm telling you. Please maintain a little calm. Hindu population declining in India. This is a study conducted between 1950 to 2025. Hindu population down by 7.8% and the Muslim population up by 43.09%. This is as per Economic Advisory Council of the Prime Minister. Christian population up by 5.38%. This is as far as India's population is concerned. Sikh population up by 6.58%. And of course, compared globally, India is one of the few countries where the majority population has come down over decades. My question to Vivek Srivastava is this. If Khalistanis enter a temple and they start attacking, beating up people over there in Canada, how in the world are you linking that with what's happening here in India?
No, I'll tell you why. In Bahraich, a young boy instigated by people like my dear friend, instigate him, tell him ऊपर चले जाओ. No, रुकिए आप पहले. आप जाइए, उस मुसलमान के घर पे चढ़िए, उसका झंडा उतारिए, अपना भगवा लड़ाइए. बाद में
was he a Khalistani?
No, listen.
Was he inspired by Khalistani?
बाबा आप यहाँ पे पेंटिंग करोगे. किसी ने पेंटिंग नहीं करी.
39 religious processions में पेंटिंग हुई.
Only Hindu लोगों के घर में घुस के झंडा उतारोगे. 30 सेकंड में बोलूंगा. बांग्लादेश के अंदर शेख हसीना की रजीम डिक्टेटोरियल थी. इलेक्शन रिग्ड थे. उनकी लीडर ऑफ ऑपोजिशन 10 साल से जेल में थी. वहां पे एक पॉपुलर अपराइजिंग हुई. लेकिन हमारे यहां पे शेख हसीना को लाया गया, रखा गया. हमने वहां पे जो हमारे हिंदू कम्युनिटी के बहुत सारे लोग एक पर्टिकुलर पार्टी के थे, जब रिटेलिएशन हुआ हिंदू मुसलमान दोनों मारे गए हैं. मेरी सरकार योगी आदित्यनाथ सिर्फ हिंदुओं की एट्रोसिटीज दिखा रहे हैं क्योंकि यहां पे इस्लामोफोबिया फैलाने में इनको आसानी हो रही है कि देखो मुसलमान कितना खराब है. नो
मोहम्मद यूनुस इज रॉन्ग.
नो बिकॉज़
मोहम्मद यूनुस से ज्यादा
मुसलमान भी मरे हैं, हिंदू भी मारे गए.
Your 30 seconds are over, sir. Yeah, quick rebuttal, then I come to you.
Madhav, the argument that I was able to understand is कि क्योंकि झंडा कहीं से उतरा या ऐसा इनको लगता है, तो ब्रैम्पटन में जो हुआ वो जस्टिफाइड है. कश्मीरी पंडितों के साथ जो हुआ तो उसके बाद कोई हिंदू मॉब नहीं गया. अब चुप रहिए, मैंने बोला ना 30 सेकंड के बाद मत बोलो.
नहीं, ब्रैम्पटन में बोलिए.
आप कश्मीरी पंडितों के बाद
Vivek, you got your 30 seconds or listen to that.
हिंदू कश्मीरी पंडितों पर
इसका कारण बता दीजिए.
No, one second.
नहीं, इसका कारण बता दीजिए फिर आप. ये क्यों हुआ?
Vivek, this is not right. Vivek, this is not right. This is not right. You've got your turn. You've got your turn. No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Siddharth Yadav.
Madhav, what happened in Karoli on the Shobha Yatra, what happened in Bengal on Ram Navami Puja, what happened अभी इस राम नवमी पे more than 10 attacks, कोई उसके उन अटैक्स को जस्टिफाई करके कह सकता है कि दुनिया भर में कोई भी हिंदू जाकर के अब किसी को भी कुछ करेगा? Can this argument sustain there?
के बाहर डीजे बजा रहे हो तो
It cannot.
जाते हैं तब क्या?
No. I want Vivek, this is not correct. You're eating into other panelists' time. This is not correct. You're eating into other panelists' time. That is not correct.
एक सेकंड, अगर ये तेज बोल रहे हैं, is it justified कि हम लोग
Not at all. I want Tehsin to respond. Tehsin, I want to respond.
स्पीकर से आपको हमें अगर आपसे प्रॉब्लम है, should we attack you? What are you justifying,
What we've
Vivek?
seen on this show is completely missing the bus, and rather than having a serious discussion, भैया आप कर लीजिए बात ना, आप पहले बात कर लीजिए.
अरे सर आप कर लीजिए अपनी बात.
Can we just?
Yeah.
What we've seen on this show is completely missing the bus, and we've seen politics go from actual a serious issue, a very serious issue of gravitas, to one of absolute domestic politics which actually doesn't make sense. Let's take each example specifically. Are we now saying, and I'm quoting Vivek, though he's a friend of mine and hopefully an ally, though the Chief Minister today attacked Priyanka Gandhi, that Hindus in Punjab, in Canada are being attacked by the Khalistanis because the Babri Masjid broke in 1992? I mean, what are we talking? Now let's go to the England attack, which Times Now was instrumental in exposing. And this is why I come critical for the government. Hindus were attacked. There was a WhatsApp that went around. This is a 2022 attack, after that cricket match between India and Pakistan. All of that reports now have come in were Turkish and Syrian people. What has that got to do with RSS? You see, what's happened is, and where we miss pinning this government, this is the most weakest government in the history of India, where we miss pinning the government, is it did nothing. What is their thing? We got Rishi Sunak to put 2 policemen outside the embassy. Your Hindus were attacked. It took 3 days for the Indian High Commissioner to react. After time, they put out reports. Instead of pinning on that, they're celebrating 2 policemen were put outside the Indian High Commission. Look, can you imagine the bankruptcy of this government? In Canada, the Canadians who are actually the conservative MPs who are being wooed by Prime Minister Modi and the government are the ones that are attending the Khalistani referendum. What has that got to do with Indian Muslims? Now let me come to a larger issue. He says, oh, Sheikh Hasina is on our taxpayers' money. It is in our interest Sheikh Hasina is in India. She's been a friend of India, be it the Gandhis or the Congress, or be it Prime Minister Modi or the BJP. Why should she not be in India? Look at the bankruptcy on this side. What is the issue? The issue is today, and with Sir out here, Panditji. He said, Muslims are, what he meant is Muslims are higher population in jail in England as compared to Hindus. Right. Except Indian Muslims are the same percentage as Indian Hindus. Indians are not in jail. Indians are not rioting. The fact is Indians today are being attacked across the globe, and this government, except for cutting India and making reels, has precious little to do, and therefore the government is interested in diverting it to local issues, and we are playing along. The government has failed the people of India, failed Indian support, and failed Hindus.
Sushil Pandit. One small fact, and very, very, very soberly, humbly put fact. There are Hindus only slightly larger in number than Sikhs in Canada. And overwhelming majority of Sikhs in Canada are patriotic Indians in terms of their national
and
group,
not ideologically aligned with Khalistanis.
Not aligned. But show me one patriotic Sikh attacked in Canada or one Gurdwara attacked in Canada. It's only the Hindus and the temples because they have been seen as synonymous with India. It is the hate, the venom against India by the Khalistani protagonists, which is now resulting in targeting of Hindus.
You cannot link temples with an ideology. Don't do that. Vivek, you are repeatedly linking Hinduism and Hindutva, and that is against the stated ideological position of the left and the Congress. Do not do that, and do not interrupt again and again. I want Pradeep Bharti to come in now. I want you to respond to Sushil Pandit. Please respond to Sushil Pandit, because what he is saying is that what has happened in Canada is that the temples there are a soft target, and that is what is repeatedly being demonstrated with what's happening on ground. Pradeep Bharti.
Before that, let me clarify 2 things, because Siddharth and the person on the left of Siddharth was claiming something. GDP of Uttar Pradesh is 5th. That is being claimed.
Second largest.
This is in the 2024 report. I don't know from where he'll get the fact. I will not question his qualification. That what he has done.
Let him make his point. Complete. You can fact check him if you want.
It is not my nature that I question his qualification. He has go and read about my qualification first. This is 5th largest. It's been given by the Indian Express, 3rd October. I don't know from where he's getting fact. Second thing about the dear friend Siddharth was referring to the riots in Uttar Pradesh. It is the fact checks one been done by one of the Premium Institute of India.
NCRB data, please. Let's go by
NCRB data.
Yeah.
With the NCRB data only. The fact is done by the NCRB data itself. I'll tell you. So the number of riots happened in 2021 is 5,302. In 2020, it is 6,125. In 2019, it is 5,714. In 2018, it is 8908. And in 2017, it is 8930.
You're saying this is NCRB data?
This is NCRB data, fact check done by one of the leading newspapers.
Okay. You put out your facts.
I put the draft also. You can.
I don't want to waste time on this debate, so I'll just take 10 seconds. UP is the 2nd largest economy with 9.2% share of the GDP, of the country's GDP. First is Maharashtra. 3rd is Tamil Nadu with 9.1%. Maharashtra is 15.2%.
I want to ask a question of Haji Rangrezo. Haji Rangrezo ji, कुछ दिन पहले पवन कल्याण कहते हैं हिंदूज आर ए ग्लोबल माइनॉरिटी, दे आर फेसिंग परसिक्यूशन इन सेवरल कंट्रीज. ब्रैम्पटन में जो हुआ हमारे सामने है, लेस्टर में जो हुआ हमारे सामने है, बांग्लादेश में जो हुआ हमारे सामने है. क्या पवन कल्याण गलत है कि हिंदूज एक ग्लोबल माइनॉरिटी है?
देखिए सर, मैं अभी हमारे सुशील पंडित जी, मैं आपकी बात का भी दूंगा जवाब. ये कह रहे थे कि जो बहराइच में दंगा हुआ उसमें उसको 35 गोली मारी गई आपके चैनल पे, नेशनल चैनल पर बैठकर, और हमारे ही पैनल में ये हैं. ऐसा कोई भी बात नहीं हुई. जिस तरीके से नखून नोचने की बात करी, तो मैं कहना चाहता हूँ आप इस तरीके की बात करके आप एक कम्युनिटी को आप जो उकसा रहे हैं, वो भटका रहे हैं. जिस तरीके से वो मॉब में तब्दील होते जा रहे, लगातार इस तरीके का पूरा माहौल पूरे देश में खराब हो रहा। दूसरी मेरे
जान से तो मारी गई है, मर्डर तो हुआ, इतना तो मानते हैं आप?
बिल्कुल हुआ है वहां की।
चलो ओके ओके ओके
वो जिहाद क्या था?
ओके ओके, उसको भी जस्टिफाई नहीं किया जा सकता।
दूसरा, आपने आप जो लगातार
कमिंग बैक टू यस,
आप इस्लामोफोबिया से इतने ग्रस्त हो चुके हैं, जिस तरीके से आपको देखना है। मुंह जिहाद कौन कर रहा है भाई? कौन कर रहा है वोट जिहाद? किसने कहा है वोट जिहाद? अरे जिहाद शब्द तो आप लाए, इतना पवित्र शब्द है जिहाद का, आपने उसको जो है हर चीज से जोड़ दिया। आपने लव जिहाद, लैंड जिहाद, हिजाब जिहाद, पता नहीं कहां का हलाल मीट जिहाद,
मेरे सवाल का जवाब
जिहाद।
दीजिए, मेरे सवाल का जवाब दीजिए।
मोना आलम बोलती है वोट जिहाद, he doesn't see religion in that.
सहमत है कि नहीं आप?
देखिए, मैं पवन कल्याण जी के, वो तो उनके वही लोग बताएंगे, हम किस तरीके की कोई बात नहीं करते जिससे कि आपस में जो है जो भाईचारा है, जो हमारे देश की एकता है, उसको खराब करने वाली बात कोई भी करता है या कहीं पर भी हिंसा होती है उसको हम कंडेम करते हैं। मगर इस तरीके की जो बातें हो रही है 2014 के बाद से, हमारे देश के हिंदू भाई खतरे में है। जो 100% हिंदू भाई रहते हैं या 100 करोड़ हिंदू भाई रहते हैं, तो ये जो प्रोपेगेंडा इन्होंने फैलाया है, उसकी वजह से आज पूरे देश में नहीं, पूरे अब बाहरों में भी ये बातें जाने लगी है, बाहर मुल्कों में भी, कैसे वहां पर भी अब ये बताने लगे कि वहां पर भी कोई भी त्योहार नहीं मनाया जा रहा, वहां पर भी हिंसा हो रही है। और इस तरीके की एक दो घटना को बड़ा चढ़ाकर दिखाया जाता है। ये सारी चीजें हो रही है।
Pandit's argument, 30 seconds are all we have left on the show. Mr. Sushil Pandit, quickly rebut what he said.
About the government, I need to respond to that.
No, but he is referred to Mr. Pandit's argument. That's all right. No, do not waste time. Do not waste time.
Saying the government back like Justin Trudeau will be sent back.
Mr. Sushil Pandit.
Why is it 6 for Justice endorse Rahul Gandhi? Why is everyone from
But then now you are eating into
to
Mr.
Ilan Omar? Why do they endorse Rahul
You are
Gandhi?
eating into Mr. Sushil Pandit's time. Let him speak, please.
No, what he's saying is that this is not true. He doesn't have the facts. He's blatantly lying. There is attack on Hindus. It is happening because they are soft targets. It is happening because they are seen as coterminous with India. Anybody who's anti-India looks at Hindus, goes looking for Hindus and attacks them as soft target. There's no other reason.
अभी तहसीन had a lot of problem कि बीजेपी तो इतना स्ट्रॉन्ग गवर्नमेंट दिखाती है और वैसे तो बहुत वीक हो गई। वीक और स्ट्रॉन्ग को छोड़िए, ये जो बाहर होता है उसको तो देखा जाएगा, जो अंदर होता है उसका क्या? डेंगू मलेरिया बता देते हैं और उनके साथ अलायंस में खड़े हुए हैं।
उनके साथ
आपके नेता, आपके नेशनल प्रेसिडेंट का बेटा कहता है कि बिल्कुल एड्स है, एड्स है ये। वहां पे इंडिया के अंदर हिंदूज को गाली दी जा रही है और आप लोग चुप खड़े हैं और आपको ज्यादा चिंता है कि देश के बाहर क्या होता है। कमाल बात है।
Out of time. Quick response.
Yasir Malik's wife, by the way, writes a letter to Rahul Gandhi.
Okay, that's a
every
separate debate. That's
terrorist,
another debate.
every person comes to
write a letter to Rahul.
Acha.
Who writes a letter? If I send you a letter, have you responded to it?
All right.
And Yasir Malik's wife letters with the BJP before Rahul Gandhi got it. Yasir Malik's wife letters with the BJP before Rahul Gandhi.
All right. Siddharth Yadav,
Yasir Malik's wife.
Karan Verma, Siddharth Yadav, Sushil Pandit, Tehseen Poonawala, Vivek Srivastava, Pradeep Bhati, Haji Mehrdin Angrez. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us on this edition of the National Debate.